Now the question, obviously, you should be asking here is, well, will this actually work? You said this whole thing, like, and again, I'm probably leading the witness here to know what happened, but this is what happened. For me, I added 22,400 words in 11 days. It was like nutty. I like, for whatever reason, like I had spent all summer in my own head, and as soon as this clicked and I was aware of it, things happened. In fact, I was able to get a draft of this to these sort of people 20 days early because I was excited to get them something as opposed to dreading getting it to everyone. So this is what I sent to them. I sent them, like, this is sort of the first draft. And again, I've already made revisions on it, exciting sorts of things on it, but this is what I sent them. And here's the coolest part. It didn't like ruin my life. I even read stories every single night during the time I was doing this, right? It just sort of changed the way it was. So again, distraction is something that's not bad. It just sort of is something that happens to us when we don't confront the challenges we're having internally. So as you sort of think about your own life, what I want you to start to think about is, how can you write down these internal triggers? How do you make sure that there's something that you can, again, sort of be aware of what they are and know what they are? Make time for yourself. Again, over the coming weeks together, you're going to have to make time to sort of finish your sort of content behind this one. And then you have to make pacts with others to hold yourself accountable. So for me, what I did is I admitted what I was afraid of. I said, like, this is the thing I'm nervous about. And again, just verbalizing it was super powerful. I know it sort of seems like one of those things like, well, like, is that really going to work? It really does. Because again, we let ourselves distraction in social media and phones and like family and all this sort of stuff. But the reality is that like usually it's just because we're nervous about something. We're sort of nervous that what we're doing isn't where we want to go or where we shouldn't go and that sort of stuff. Then I set aside time. And again, I did put the time aside to be able to do this one. You will need to do the same. And then you need to create pacts with people. Now, one of the neat parts, again, about this next week is you're going to meet your editor. And so you're going to talk to them about what you're nervous about, what you're afraid of, what you're concerned about. And these sorts of things will help you. Then you can also tell them how you're planning to set aside time and then use them to create these pacts. So if you're going to use library sessions or whatever it is, suddenly now you've got a way to do these sorts of things. So what we're going to do now is it's going to be your turn. We're going to do this exercise for you guys to sort of create your traction plan. So before I do, questions, comments, thoughts on what we discussed here. Does it make sense? Do you understand? Questions on how it works? Comments, anyone? What you will find, most authors tell me, is that this exercise is one of those things that it will help you not only in this book, but in lots of different ways. Like, it is one of those things that, like, we are, being indistractable is a superpower today. And so whether it's for your book or whether it's for a term paper or whether it's for whatever it is, it's just one of those things that can be really powerful. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start to develop your individual traction plans. And so a traction plan really is a very short document that we're going to put together that's going to help you guys, again, sort of communicate with your editor. Remember what I told you is that I've sort of shared what you're going to be doing with your editor. And so your editor is now going to be, sometimes like they like to say, they're going to be your shrink. When you're sort of your book shrink and you're stuck in sorts of things, they know. They can ask you and say, like, so what's really going on right now? You've sort of missed a couple of weeks of stuff. Like, is there something else going on? If you say, I'm busy, they're going to say bullshit. Right? They're going to say, tell me what else is really going on. You got to understand what is these sorts of things.